Welcome back to Confident Real Estate. I'm JC. Today we're going to discuss a topic of massive importance as of the date this is being shot, and that is the coronavirus pandemic and the resulting unemployment and inability for many people to earn an income and even have a job to go to. Unfortunately, not everybody qualifies for unemployment benefits. For those who do, that's been wonderful, but the stimulus package can't last forever. So what do you do if you're a homeowner who has a mortgage and that's a real life concern for you? It's very scary. Typically, if you find yourself in a tight economic position where you can't afford to pay your mortgage, you either refinance it or try to get a lower rate based on where we are in the market cycle, or you would potentially go to sell your house, at least for the value of the mortgage, so you can get out from under that debt obligation that could put you into a situation of foreclosure where you lose the house and everything else. Your credit score plummets, makes it very hard to then go forward and borrow additional money. If you're in a position where you're not paying the mortgage and a pre-foreclosure has started, it makes it hard just to even refinance your home. Right now, in the current state of the world where everybody's been in quarantine, unless someone has to move, nobody is moving. So trying to sell your house, maybe not really a realistic option at the moment. And trying to get a refinance, if you're unemployed, the banks aren't going to give you the money anyway. So what are your realistic options right now? Quite honestly, banks, utility companies, credit card companies, they're being very understanding about the current situation of the marketplace and the just unique situation of a global pandemic. First time in over 100 years that this has occurred, so they're being a lot more receptive to working out potential restructurings of your loans, most usually in the sense of a deferment, where they will defer your monthly payments that you owe for a set period of, say, 90 days, 180 days, but that additional amount will be then tacked on as additional principal. The interest will continue to accrue. It will be tacked on to the total amount of the loan you owe. But what this does is it allows you to not go delinquent on your loans. You're not in default. There's no delinquency. There's no reason for the banks to call the credit bureaus and say, this person is delinquent and it should take a hit on their credit. You save your credit, you save your house, you have the ability to go forward. But the onus is on you as the borrower to pick up the phone and call the banks and let them know what your situation is. Let them know that you're unemployed, and when the unemployment benefits run out, if you're able to qualify for them in the first place, then once they're out, you're going to have a situation. Start the conversation now. I do want to say, and it's very important to point out, that while many people are frightened of the F word, foreclosure, it is a long process. It doesn't happen 1, 2, 3. It takes time. It's not going to start after you miss one payment. It's going to be more like missing at least 3 consecutive months of payments before they really get into full gear to start a foreclosure process. The other kind of benefit of the current situation we're all in is most jurisdictions, courthouses are closed, and a lot of foreclosures are not even being permitted, just like evictions on rental properties are not being permitted right now because of the unique situation of a global pandemic that we find ourselves in. But most courts are still closed. It's a long process to foreclose, and it requires that you miss multiple months of consecutive payments in most cases before they even kick off the process. But the key is communication with your bank. Don't just go radio silent. Call them and let them know what your situation is. Even if we weren't in a pandemic, before you head down the road of entering into a possible foreclosure situation, you got to pick up the phone and call the bank and see if there's something you can work out with them. But especially with every lender being well aware of the situation that we're currently in, there's a lot more leeway with the banks to work out some kind of deferment in your payment plan. So call them, start the communication. The one thing that's very important for you to understand is the banks aren't going to just take your word for it. You got to be prepared with your paperwork. You're going to have to provide documentary evidence that shows your proof of income situation and why you believe you need a deferment. Everybody, 30-something million people are unemployed. There's a lot of homeowners, millions, that are going to be looking for the same situation. Be prepared. Come with your documents ready to go. Be able to prove to the bank, this is the situation. I'm not just saying I'm concerned. There's a real reason to be concerned here. Providing that documentary evidence will speed the process along and help you with your bank in getting into that deferment smoothly and quicker. Lastly, after you've been able to enter into a deferment plan, just be aware of what those repayment obligations are, right? So you're, let's say, not going to pay your mortgage for the next 3 months, and the additional interest that accrues over those 3 months is going to be tacked on as additional principal. Does it extend the term of your loan by 3 months? Do you now owe more money because it's being readjusted on the higher principal balance after 3 months of additional interest has accrued and been tacked on to the total principal amount you had? It may raise your monthly payments, and especially if it's not actually extending the term of your loan, it's just a deferment. You may have to pay that additional amount of money that's been tacked on from the additional accruing interest that's now principal during the same term of the loan you had. Just understand your payment obligations, understand the terms of the deferment, what's being added on to your principal, how much is accruing, how much you're going to owe, and when you're going to start to have to pay it back. Just read the fine print. I hope you found this informative. If you're in this situation, pick up the phone, start the conversation with your banks. If you know somebody who's in this situation or might be, forward this video to them. You just can't not respond or be proactive. Don't be reactive, waiting for the circumstances to come find you. Be proactive and go attack the situation now. That is your best chance of a wonderful resolution at the end of this. Please like this video so the YouTube algorithm knows you found it useful and circulates it to many more other people. And please subscribe to our channel. You can click that link below as well so that you don't miss out on future content too. I hope you're all doing well, safe, healthy. God bless. See you next time.